Hello, welcome to Record Time. Record Time is a weekly Akashic experience where we explore simple and mysterious themes through the lens of the Akashic Records. Thank you for being here. Welcome to new friends and welcome back to old friends. And as always, if you're unfamiliar with what the Akashic Records are, I invite you to check out my website, minaruchi.com, and there are some resources explaining what the Akashic Records are from my perspective, what a reading is, how those things can support you, and you can even listen to me offer a live reading there. So yeah, and there's classes, there's free resources, there's a lot of good stuff there. There's a lot of goodies waiting for you there if you're curious for more. But for right now, I invite you, if it's safe and accessible, if it would feel good, you can close your eyes and indulge in an exhale in whatever way would feel good. And as you breathe at your own pace, you can just start to feel the weight of your body get a little bit heavier and more relaxed. Feeling the weight of your body meet gravity and befriend gravity. Letting everything just come down a little bit, letting the muscles relax and drop down. You can loosen your jaw, soften it, relax it. And feeling yourself really coming down to rest on whatever part of you is in contact with the surface that's supporting you. Whether you're standing, sitting, or laying down, or somewhere in between. Okay, so this week's topic is about preferences. And I feel like I've talked about this a few times, but there's more. So I'm gonna say some more about it. So we're officially in December, which is unbelievable that we're at the end of the year. And this time of the year for me is very hectic. It's very busy. It feels like time is speeding up and there's a lot to do. There's a lot of moving around. There's a lot of socializing and being with people I don't normally see. And in all of that kind of fast energy and movement that's happening, it's really easy, maybe you can relate, to feel disconnected from your preferences. And what I mean by that is like literally not knowing what you like and what you don't like. Simple. And maybe for some of you listening, it's unfathomable to even think like, what do you mean not know what you like and what you don't like? How could you not know that? And if that's where you're at, great, you can skip this one. But if you tend to focus when you're around other people, if you tend to focus on other people's preferences, what would please them, right? What would make them happy? What do they need? How can I attend to the situation around me? It might not even occur to you to check in and all of that, right? Checking in with all these people just in your mind, checking in with the situation, checking in with the like environmental, right, needs of the people and the things around you. and attending to that. It might not even occur to you to be like, what do I want? What do I need? Do I like what's happening? Do I prefer for things to happen this way or not? And so if that is you, then the records are saying, right? They're just acknowledging and they're validating, yeah, it's easy. It's even easier to like feel disconnected from your own preferences at this time when things get busy. And how can we support ourselves inside of that experience? How can we support ourselves in staying connected to our preferences even when things speed up around us or things are demanding around us? How do we do that? So that's what we're going to be diving into. And they're saying, how do we do that? How do we stay connected to our preferences? It's very simple. Practice. And what might that look like? How do you practice connecting to your preferences? And this is great if the end of December is a busy time for you, if it's like holidays and traveling and lots of people and things going on. Right now we're at the beginning of December, so we have a little bit of a buffer. Maybe you have a little bit of a buffer before things really start picking up. And so as we're going into a busy season, and this is true, at the end of the year, you can come back to this at another time of the year or another season that's busy. When you're going into a time that you know is going to be busy, where you're going to be surrounded by people and it'll be easy to disconnect from your preferences, you can support yourself by, as you go into this time, paying attention to your preferences before you're surrounded by a bunch of people or by a bunch of hectic energy. So while it's still quiet, right? And if you're watching this at a time where it's not busy and you have a lot of time, great. This is the perfect time to practice it. So in the quiet time, that's when it's like easy time to practice. And what that might look like is as you're going throughout your day, this is a really simple practice that it's not really about setting aside time to practice this. This is a moving practice. This is a living practice. It's a dynamic practice, meaning that it's something that will arise situationally, contextually, and then you meet it with awareness and you practice in that moment, and then it'll dissolve and then another situation will arise. So you're almost like waiting for opportunities to practice this. You're paying attention to notice the opportunities to practice staying connected to your preferences. And really, it's like building awareness of your preferences. So what this might look like, right? It's not sitting and meditating and thinking, what are my preferences? Let me make a list of what I like and don't like. It's not that. It's, although you can do that, and that's great too, but that's not what I'm talking about. So it's, as you're moving through the day, maybe something happens that you like. You're walking past a bakery and it smells wonderful. And you notice, oh, I like how that smells. I like that. I like that. Great. That's the practice. Or it's you're sitting in your home and you can hear dogs barking outside. I don't like that. And just noticing like, oh, I don't like that. I would prefer for it to be quiet. I don't like this. And note that the essence of this practice is not about doing anything about it. We're not practicing taking action around our preferences, what we like and don't like. It's not about smelling a good smell and then like, oh, now I have to go eat something, whatever. You can, but you don't have to. But it's like, oh, noticing I liked how that smelled. Or with like a sound you don't like, it's like just noticing, oh, I don't like how that sounds. It's too loud. It's too loud. I don't like it. And it's not about like going out and like telling your neighbor to tell their dog to be quiet. It's just like noticing, I don't like that. It's not about doing something about it. And really, it's just a practice of awareness, noticing throughout the day when you like something and when you don't like something. And I feel goofy describing this practice because it's so simple. This is really simple, but to cultivate awareness, to stay connected to your preferences when the environment and the people around you have a lot of needs. Their preferences might be louder than yours. To stay connected to what you want or don't want in that moment when there's a lot of other preferences around you, you have to practice listening to your preferences when it's quiet, when it's easy to hear them, when you're by yourself or in a calm, relaxed environment, in a relaxed state, noticing, I liked that. Oh, I didn't like that. That's it. And the more you practice that on your own, just noticing that natural kind of arising, emergent feeling of I liked it or I didn't like it. And it's not bad. This isn't about judging or shaming your preferences or saying, oh, I shouldn't dislike that or I shouldn't like that. That's weird that I like that. It's weird that I don't like that, whatever. That's not the point. Again, you can put that to the side. It's just noticing, oh, I didn't like that. Oh, that was great. I loved that. That was so good. I want more of that, whatever it is. And it's just noticing that. And again, the more you do that, the more you have practiced paying attention to your preferences, the easier it'll be to stay connected to them and pay attention to them, even when the environment is loud, and even when other people are saying their preferences really loud or not saying them and you're trying to tune into them, whatever it might be. So let me see if there's anything else around this. It's a simple one, but it could potentially be life-changing if you do it. See. Yeah, they're kind of just smiling. The keepers are smiling. They're like, it would be easy to dismiss this as obvious and simple because it is obvious and simple. But if you do it, if you really struggle with knowing what your preferences are, this is a very direct, practical, simple way to cultivate that skill. It's a skill to understand and be aware of your preferences. And so just like any skill, to cultivate a skill, you practice. That's all this is. So I would love to know what you think of this. And I'd love to know if you do this. Like, what are some of the things that you're noticing? And are you noticing that it's easy to notice it? Or is it actually difficult to even hone in on the moments where you like something or don't like something? I'd love to know how this goes for you if you try it out. So please do let me know. Feel free to send me a message or leave a comment, send me an email, whatever. I'd love to hear from you. All right. And until next time, I'm wishing you well. Namaste.